What's going on, everybody? Trev Wilson here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Wrench. Today, we have 3 brand new bottles, all 3 of which coming out of the same place, all 3 of which coming in a super huge bottle, all 3 of which super friggin' cheap. We're talking the brand new offerings from Kirkland. Yes, you heard that right. Kirkland dropped a line of bourbons. They have the small batch, the bottled in bond, and the single barrel. I grabbed all 3 of them, so today we're going to be drinking through all 3 of them, kind of a product overview. Last week I did a video talking about the best value bourbons. These 3 bottles, for as cheap as they are, and the amount of whiskey you get for each of them, I feel like they're trying to be the kings of value. What we're going to do is just drink all 3 of them and see if any of them are worthy enough to be on that list that I did last week. Kirkland coming out strong, okay? They show up, they say, let's release a Kirkland signature bourbon. Let's throw it at them in a liter bottle, and let's make it super cheap. They're all about value. Costco, save you money. What we're gonna be doing today is looking into that last piece of the formula. Does it taste good? It doesn't matter how much whiskey that they give us or how cheap they make it. If it doesn't taste good, then zero value. So today's video is a subscriber only video. So if you find yourself lurking, creeping in the depths, you need to hit the subscribe button so you can properly watch this video. But now, I have to drink them. First up, Kirkland small batch. Coming in 46%, 92 proof, and 1 whole liter. That's a good start. 1 liter, okay? This bottle cost me $21.99, okay? $22 for a liter. Kind of skeptical right off the bat. How good can something be for $22? And you're giving me a liter of it? Kind of scary, but let's see. Costco, Kirkland, them fools are all about the savings. Something I do like about this bottle. So, Kirkland, if you didn't know, they are not aging their own whiskey. They don't have a secret warehouse in the back of their store. They are sourcing it from Barton. And you know how I know that? They throw it big, bold, right in the front of the bottle. They don't make you go search in the back and decipher what town and what state and all of that stuff. It's not buried in the back. They clear as day say, this is from Barton, 1792. Kudos to them so far. You know, on the presentation of the bottle, it's looking pretty good. They got a Barton warehouse. They throw it out there that this is from Barton. So now, the real test. How is this? Kirkland, small batch. Okay. We hear you, Kirkland. Smells pretty dang good. It's pretty sweet. Nice levels of vanilla jumping out of there. Honestly, I was thinking that it was gonna smell like a super budget bottom shelf bottle. Usually, bottles that are this cheap and come in very large quantities, you know, the big plastic jugs, they don't smell too good. This one smells pretty good. There's a little bit of graininess kind of poking through, but you know, I can get past it. For $22, I can get past that little bit of graininess that I'm getting on the nose. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, so it's at least 2 years old. I would imagine at the price that this is 2 years old and probably not a day over, but they've done pretty good at kind of hiding that youthfulness, at least on the nose. So let's see how it tastes. Okay, I will say some of that graininess does shine through a little more on the palate. It's not those harsh, rough around the edges, pointy notes that you get on a lot of the other younger bottles, but it's the graininess. It's the corn forward. You know, you can just tell, you can taste the grain. Those caramels and vanillas are there, and it does cut back on some of those youthful notes. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of some of those other budget bottles, those $10 to $15 bottle. But it is a little better. I will give it that. It's a little better. By all means, this is not my favorite bottle ever. I wouldn't even say this is my favorite $20 bottle. I think, though, that there is value in this in the fact that it's $22. It's pretty decent, okay? It's not bad. It's not overly good. This isn't gonna blow your mind. It's not gonna change your world. But for the price and the amount you get it, you know, you could easily kind of just start your night off with this, or just save it as a mixer. Give it to your friends, pour it in some Coke, whatever you want to do with it. You get a lot of it, and it's cheap, and it's decently good. So I would say this is, so far, pretty good value. It's decent enough. All right, moving on. Bottled in bond. So at least 4 years old. So I'm imagining maybe some of those grainy notes, hopefully, are gone a little bit. 100 proof, same thing. It's the same kind of label, lets you know where it's from. It's pretty cool. So the picture is different. They're paying homage to 1792. I guess they kind of had a relationship, a deal. We will buy the whiskey from you, and then we're gonna rep the heck out of your distillery, so people know this is where it comes from. Let's try it. Let's see what the bottled in bond has to offer us. On the nose. Oh wow. Okay. I will say this. On the nose, way better than the small batch. The bottled in bond cost me $27.99, so only a couple dollars more. Again, comes in the liter bottle. The vanillas, the caramels that you were getting, like the typical bourbon notes, which I was hoping would be on them, way amplified. It's much more like your typical bourbon, I guess. And what I mean by that is I feel like this is going to get lumped into the super bottom shelf category just because it's a liter and it's cheap. Okay, so I feel like people are gonna think that it must not be good if it's that cheap and you get that much of it. Honestly, compared to those bottom shelfers, this is blowing them out of the water so far. Not really getting any of those grainy notes that I was getting on the first one. Very sweet, okay? It is reminding me of Barton flavor notes. I don't think this is just a rebottling of 1792. This seems to be a new branch. Maybe some other stuff that they're giving them, or that they blended for them, they made for them, whatever. All right, let's taste it. Yeah, I like this one a little bit better than the small batch. The grainy note, though, is kind of coming back through the palate. Wasn't really getting it at all on the nose. The nose is phenomenal. I would say the nose is, on both of these, have been the best part. Again, on the palate, pretty good, pretty decent. It is just a little bit higher proof version of the small batch. There's not really that much variance between the two, honestly. I guess my issue would come down to, would I rather have this over something like the Early Times Bottled in Bond, or even something like Old Forester 100 proof? Even though I'm getting less of it, it's still a little bit cheaper. You know, at the end of the day, maybe not. I would probably rather have one of those. But still, you're getting a liter bottle, and you'll probably be able to find this a bit easier going forward than the Early Times. So yeah, I can see this kind of being maybe not a direct replacement to the Early Times Bottled in Bond, but that category of, around $25 and a liter bottle, whatever you use it for, I think there's value in it. So kudos to them. This one, I would say, again, has some good value to it. Don't get me wrong, none of these are just blowing my mind so far. It's not like some revolutionary product. They're good. I like what they're doing. Love the price, and I love that you get a liter of it. So, lot of thumbs ups coming their way. So we've been getting better as we go. So the small batch, C+, you passed. It's pretty good. Bottled in Bond is like a B+, so you're like, yeah, you did a little better. Now we're moving on to Kirkland Single Barrel 120 proof. Let's see if it can get an A+. Again, 60% alcohol, 120 proof, 1 liter. Something that I absolutely friggin' love about this bottle before we even get into it. Non-chill filtered. Seriously, if Kirkland, the grocery store, can non-chill filter some bourbon, Friggin' everyone can. I will dog it just a little bit. It has a lot of grab words on it. Limited release. One of a kind. Superior, distinctive flavor. Unique character. You know, a lot of mumbo jumbo. The only things you should really be looking at is it's a single barrel and it's non-chill filtered. Come on, don't let me down, baby. All right, Kirkland single barrel. On the nose. Wow, okay, so, okay, hold up a minute. This is good. And, you know, the noses have been amazing on all of them. This one, by far, has been the one that kind of smells totally different. It smells deeper, darker, richer, way more caramel. It is very intense, very sweet vanilla. Almost a charriness coming through on it too. And 0 grain. I'm getting 0 grain on it. Really impressed so far on the nose. So, let's taste it. Oh yeah. Dude, this is just a home run in a bottle. I will say, according to my receipt, this bottle was also $27.99. So, I don't know, you know, what the actual retail price is, but I can tell you that I paid the same price for the bottled and bond and the single barrel. So, the single barrel is where it's at. By far, this is the one that has actually kind of blown my mind. I mean, thinking about it, you're getting a liter and it's under $30. I'm definitely thinking that it's gonna be some cheap budget bourbon. This is the one. This is the one of the three that kind of reads, I'm not budget bourbon. I would say probably, I'm just gonna say it, this is probably the best value out of the lot. I think this is really good. And honestly, I will say this too about the single barrel. This one tastes the most like a 1792 product. If I had this one blind, I might kind of lean towards 1792 of some sort. I don't know which one I would guess it as, but this one's more reminiscent of a true Barton 1792 product than the other two. That mouthfeel is incredible. I don't understand why everyone doesn't non-chill filter. It takes this budget bottle, $27, and just puts it up on a pedestal just because it feels better. It's creamier, it coats your mouth, it gives you a little more. And at what cost? 0 cost. I feel like it's actually easier just to not do anything to the bourbon and throw it in the bottle than it is to chill filter it. So I feel like it's a win-win. Cheaper for you to do, better for the consumer to drink. Okay, wrench rant over. My non-chill filter, that's my presidential slogan. That's what I'm going for when I run. Non-chill filter for all. This is kind of proof. This bottle's a friggin' hitter, I will say that. I will say, if I had to pick one of them to go on my best value bourbons, like the video I did last week, definitely all day the single barrel. It's really good. Just to give my honest opinion, I will say the small batch is decent. It's good for what it is. It's a good everyday bar cart bourbon. You can save it for your friends. You can let them mix it. You can sip on it. You can do whatever you want with it. It's pretty versatile. Bottled and bond. Again, it's pretty decent. I think it's a little step above the small batch. Not a whole lot. I would say if you were strictly looking at sipping the bourbon, I would go with the bottled and bond versus the small batch. And then finally, the one that I think wins, I think it's honestly the best value out of the lot, would be the single barrel. Again, it's 120 proof, which you're looking at barrel proof range. There's a lot of barrel proofs that aren't even at 120. It's under $30 for something that high of proof. You don't come by that often. It's non-chill filtered, which is just freaking thumbs up all day. And it tastes good. And it's cheap. I mean, it just hits all of the check marks. I mean, seriously, this is on my top 10 list. So just add it to best value bourbons. I'm gonna say the single barrel. If you have access to these, I would recommend just picking up all 3 of them because they're cheap enough for you to try them all. If you had to pick just one, probably the single barrel. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I sure as heck did. Drinking 3 bourbons side by side. You start feeling good, you start feeling loose. Let me know if you've tried these bottles yet, if you've seen them out there. Just a fun fact, I probably should have said this earlier, but if you're sticking around to the end of the video, you're the true MVP, and I'm here to hook you up. I did not buy these bottles at a Costco. They were at my local liquor store, so I was under the impression that this was a Costco, Kirkland, exclusive only bottle. But I walked into my local liquor store and there they all were. So I guess they're gonna be sold everywhere. So keep your eyes peeled, check your store. If you see them, just grab them. Leave a like on the video, comment below. Let's start a discussion. Let's talk about some Kirkland value bourbons. If you want to support me more, there are plenty of ways to do so. We have merchandise, we have a Patreon, brand new merch coming, by the way. You might want to hop on that bandwagon. And until next time, guys, I'm Trev Wilson. I'll see you in the next video.